It's a day for pretty speeches and medals. But we know the real fight takes place out there.
What's up, guys? This is Crafty coming at you once again with another Destiny discussion. Before we begin, I'd like to apologize for the lack of updates to this playlist. The end of 2016 was very busy and getting videos out just was not possible by myself with everything that was going on at the time, and I do apologize sincerely for this. As well, I have recently become employed at a fine dining restaurant, so in between cooking meals and creating videos, I may have to turn what was meant to be weekly content into one video a week, or should the workload continue to rise, one video bi-weekly. What this entails is, for example, instead of a Destiny discussion on Wednesday, followed by a Star Wars discussion on Friday in the same week, they would instead be uploaded opposite to each other every Friday or second Friday. With that said, I do hope you guys remain as patient as you've been, with the goals for this channel being massive, and I am hoping to see this become full-time, featuring far more videos weekly than ever before and bringing you new content. However, until then, life is sadly still quite expensive, and income has got to be made while trying to get this channel off the ground. Now, without any further delay, let's jump into today's discussion video for Destiny. 2016 is gone, forever a memory, with lessons learned and goals placed for the new year of 2017. And I cannot help but wonder what this means for Bungie and their franchise Destiny. Has the recent update, dubbed The Dawning, met with some success given the disappointment that was Festival of the Lost? At this point in time, we know there are no more expansions or planned DLCs coming to Destiny 1, as the team is focused on bringing us Destiny 2, and quite possibly releasing it late in the year around the fall to holiday mark. So what are they going to do to keep us occupied throughout the year? Or better yet, what should they do? For starters, let's just discuss what is probably going to happen and what I think on the idea of it. Old raids brought up to current standards. This is honestly just something we're all expecting. But is it too little, too late? We have been asking for these old raids to be brought back since after the Taken King got rid of House of Wolves' premise on everything old is new again. By Rise of Iron, Bungie had still failed to appease the fans on this wish, and it is now sounding like a very plausible update to the game coming in the spring. By now, this is just a ridiculous method Bungie is starting to become infamous for, and it is not good. By bringing old raids back as some sort of quote-unquote update, they are showing they truly don't care about us, because they're using something that should have been added a long time ago and only just getting around to it now, whereas time could have been spent delivering us something completely new. It feels like Bungie's motto as of late is just better late than never, so be happy and shut up. And this is something we have got to fight back. If this trend continues, we have a lot to fear for in Destiny 2, as Bungie will be well aware of the fact that no matter how shitty they are treating their fans, and no matter how sly they are with updating the game, people will still flock to the counter to turn over their cash, and later flock to the marketplace for that DLC, and then even later flock to the comment boards to just defend these supposed updates. Sparrow Racing League becoming an actual playlist in the Crucible, not just available through private matches. As stated before, is this again too little, too late? Don't get me wrong, this would be a great addition. Same with the old raids being brought up to our current light. However, if this is used as a way of keeping players occupied for another year, it is merely a mirage of them listening to the community and an excuse for them to use and act like they are keeping up with what fans are asking for. If they were truly keeping up, this would have already been made available to us after the Dawning released. Because since Sparrow Racing League first launched, fans have been asking for it to come back as a regular mode. And it seemed on its second release, a year later, that we may in fact be getting that. But upon closer inspection, this would turn out to be only half true. Yes, we would be getting access to this game mode, but it would only be through private matches. Once again, Bungie is showing us that they really don't care, and are more than likely doing it as a way that later in the year they can make it a Crucible mode, and it will seem like they've listened to us and weighed in on it, and now they're appeasing our wishes. But the truth of the matter is, once again, they're updating the game with something they should have already had in place and are now just being lazy on coming up with actual fresh content to keep us occupied. Speaking of Sparrow Racing League, the Valentine's Day event will also most likely be slightly expanded on. However, unlike Sparrow Racing League being made available at least through private matches, doubles elimination will most likely not be granted even that, mainly for the fact that it would be pointless to only be available through private matches. I sincerely hope they bring this game mode in full circle to both the Crucible matchmaking system and the private matchmaking system, as it was easily my favorite and would make me feel even more of a desire to play this game more competitively and more frequently than now. Sadly, given the evidence of the more highly fan requested SRL to be brought into Crucible and it being practically ignored with only a small notion for it to be put into private matches, as I said before, we will most likely only be getting doubles elimination for the duration of the event, and once it concludes, it will be over. Now, let's go on to something a little more positive. It is very likely with these updates to come, we will see some new weapons or gear for our Guardians to play around with. Before you guys get defensive on the fact that the Dawning added new exotics and skins, let me remind you, those quote-unquote new exotics were already fully designed and developed and were supposed to be shipped during the Taken King. In an April update screenshot of the Vault Space upgrade, both exotics were pictured. As well, these guns were showcased in a teaser trailer, although recently I am unable to find it. What this all means is Bungie, 3 years later into Destiny's lifespan, are still cutting content and shipping it later, or just not at all. The main issue with this is in the fact that shows Bungie is still unmoving in their model for this franchise, and we will likely see the same concept applied to Destiny 2. And after all of the money already invested by players, this is just another slap to an already sore face. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video on what it is Bungie should do, everything is mentioned above, but not with the premise of some big update where they're pretending to appease fans. Bungie needs to find a way to impact their universe in a small but meaningful way leading to Destiny 2. Destiny is supposed to feel alive, like the world is changing with you as you play and make your decisions. But other than some changes after a major expansion, nothing happens. Bungie could go on a path of releasing a prequel-like story mission teasing Destiny 2 once a month or so until the release. But whatever update they do decide on bringing, I can only hope it will be fresh and unique to this franchise. Something we haven't been shown. Perhaps even something we haven't thought of. To conclude, an interesting thought is whether or not we will see an Easter, St. Patrick's Day, or a summer event, as there is no DLC launching all of 2017. And the last update to come that has been done previously is the above mentioned Valentine's Day event. If Bungie fails to deliver something along those lines for those times of year, or in between, it will have disastrous consequences for their franchise, in the sense that they are failing to keep players engaged with their title and to feel a desire to put it down and pick something else up. Before I go, I'd like to mention how amazing it is to see these views, and I am grateful. Whether or not you guys are subbing is up to you, but I hope to continuously bring out content you guys are looking forward to, and as this channel grows, eventually do this full time. Now that is all I have for today's discussion. Remember to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and make sure to tune back in Friday for another Star Wars discussion. This time, it will be on an older franchise that Disney will hopefully allow to be unleashed for the current generation. This is Crafty signing off. Until the next Crafty video.